This is the first Radix Fellows Forum. I prepared this short video to kick off our discussion. In 1957, the then Prime Minister Harold Macmillan famously said, "Most of our people have never had it so good." Yet now, over 60 years later, we are 5 times richer, yet no politician would ever say that. The way our economy is structured is it needs to grow, otherwise everything falls apart. And to do this, people need to be persuaded to buy more and more stuff. This economic system has made us a lot wealthier, but now we are consuming so much that we're destroying the planet. And despite our wealth, there are still lots of deprived and marginalized people. My hypothesis is that the way our economy is structured has a lot to do with the economics discipline. And economics has a big mistake at its center. This mistake is that people want to maximize their utility, which they do by having more stuff. Recently, I came across positive psychology, which is now one of the main branches of psychology taught at university. It's also called the science of well-being. It finds that what makes people happy is not having more stuff, but surprise, surprise, things like spending time with your friends and family and being kind. It also explains the utility mistake. Utility is what positive psychologists call miswanting. We tend to want things that will make us happy, but don't. So we've created an economy which is very good at satisfying our miswants rather than our actual needs. So I'm aware that over the years we've had a lot of initiatives attempting to put well-being at the heart of policy, most recently by the Cameron government. I put their failure down to the fact that they don't get to the heart of the problem. If we really took the findings of positive psychology seriously, we would have to reformulate the whole of economics, removing the concept of utility, which is core to much of the discipline. I don't actually know what the resultant economics would look like, but the effect should be totally transformative on economic policy. For example, junking, quite rightly, the Treasury's Green Book on which they allocate resources. Unlike Cameron's Big Society, this would not be woolly or vague. I'd be very interested to know if the fellows agree with this. Would changing economics change the economy? And what would economics or economic policy look like? The other implication is to do with health policy. If people's well-being is impacted, so is their health, both physically and mental health. Having more stuff doesn't make you happy, but it doesn't make you unhappy either. What does make you unhappy, and therefore affects your well-being and health, is being constantly bombarded with messages that your life would be better if you had this shampoo or car or whatever, i.e. advertising. And now we also have a plague of unhappiness caused by social media, for example, which causes increased levels of depression and teenage suicide and other adverse mental well-being problems. So on the one hand, we do have a ground-up movement with activities like mindfulness becoming more popular as people try and preserve their own well-being, and this in itself will change the economy as people choose a different consumption pattern. But on the other hand, what should government be doing, if anything, to counteract these well-being pandemics? My overall motivation here is that positive psychology provides a conceptual basis, like Adam Smith's Invisible Hand, of how we could all be better off in terms of health, happiness and general well-being, but with a much fairer and more sustainable economy. What I would like to discuss or see from this discussion is how do we get there from where we are now.